How's it going, guys? This is the Optical Tailor here. I'm here with Tyler. Tyler traveled quite the distance to visit us, and it's one of those things when I say our clients really travel to visit us, and it's one of those things where I try to return the favor as much as I can. Tyler drove from Chicago, and then you were in Ohio.
I was, yes.
And then from Ohio to here, and he has a funny story to tell about that. So I'll just let you get started with
I do.
How's your first experience? Well, you've been to Canada before,
I
right?
have. I've been to Canada, never with quite the glasses collection that I have today. As Jason said, yes, my name is Tyler. I am a high-end eyewear enthusiast. I'm into the finer things in life. Jason here was an excellent fit for my tastes based on that. We have a very similar sense of style. We both have watches. We like nice shoes. We love luxury high-end eyewear. We're very similar in that regard. So it was an instant.
It's the art of being a gentleman.
It was, exactly.
It's a lot. It's lost art these days where you just see everyone wearing trainers, and you go to the mall sometimes they're wearing like slides with socks,
absolutely,
and sweatpants, and dressing well or just wearing just something classy. It's lost these days. So that's what we try to bring back here. Through eyewear, just through styling our clients in general, just making them look like timeless and classic.
Absolutely. And I try to put a little effort into, the appearance, and I think you'd be amazed. It doesn't take a lot to lie. And I think it's something you should care about. I think you'd be surprised how much of a difference it makes to other people as well, in my opinion.
Well, going back to Tyler coming into Canada Customs, like you got to cut these guys some slack. They gave him a hard time.
They did.
There's a funny story, so I'll let you.
I came in to Canada with. I have quite the collection, I'll say for sure. I came in probably with about 35 or so frames, and I was treated a little bit like a like a very suspicious person with it. I figured eyeglasses are fairly harmless. I suppose some people may disagree with that. I guess I've learned. It was almost like basically an interrogation over why do you have these glasses? Why do you have so many glasses? It was a shocker a bit to say the least. But we made it through. We got here.
I found it funny. He's like the customs guards. They literally said to him, "We're here to protect Canadians."
Yes.
It's like, what are you gonna do to harm us with glasses?
Correct.
Like, seriously.
Yeah. The first interaction I had was I was wearing this Chrome Hearts pair, and they are a base tint plus a photochromic lens. The photochromic was active to a certain degree, so they were a little bit brown. And the immigration officer told me, "Sir, take off your sunglasses." I explained to him, "Well, no, they're prescription tinted glasses." He said, "Sir, take off your sunglasses." Again, I tried to explain to this person, "Well, I cannot see without these. I can't remove them. They're not sunglasses. They're prescription tinted glasses." This went back and forth for about 3 or so minutes. Eventually, they just gave up with me and just said, "Fine." Why I need to remove my prescription glasses for some reason, I don't know.
That's probably when he opened the bag with 35 other pairs, and then he was gonna pull out his. Well, that's another story. How he only has one clear pair.
I do.
Out of 35. Well, you have this is just what you brought.
This is some of my collection. This is not all. Yes.
I mean,
correct.
If you pulled out the one clear pair, you'd have to dig through your collection, and they'd be looking at you like, "What the heck?"
They would. They didn't seem to understand or process why does this guy have so many frames. Why you need to explain that, I don't really know. But us enthusiasts get a hard time, I guess. So that was my experience entering Canada. After that, it's been lovely. Optical Tailor's been an amazing host, and I couldn't ask for better service. Excellent location, a lovely little area in Mississauga. Excellent food in the area. Amazing store. If you're an international client, you're looking for the best of the best, I couldn't recommend enough that you can make the trip out here. I certainly did in Chicago. As Jason alluded to, it's a 9-hour drive. As you can imagine, Chicago has some extremely high-end luxury boutiques. And this was absolutely worth the trip for me still.
It's just some of the nicest words to hear, because for us, I've been in this industry now for quite some time, but as my own entity, as our own business, it's only been a short while. It'll be 2 years in January. And to just see ourselves, like what we've managed to accomplish from a year ago to now, it's insane. And I remember when I started the business, it was a gamble. Like I always said to Rena, I was like, it's one of those things, my wife Rena, that I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start this this journey and, just take the risk. And at that time, it was just my existing clients. And I only wanted to, of course, as you guys know, work with the finest independent brands. And when you're working with independents, unfortunately, it does take a little bit of time because it is a niche market. Whereas,
absolutely, yeah,
like I had a gentleman today call Tom Ford's, Prada, this, that, and that's stuff you see everywhere. And we don't do mass market. We don't do common. We do uncommon. We do unique.
Yes.
And we do different. So to start a business just being entirely different right off the bat, it was a risk. And for me, I was like, you know what? This is what I love and this is what I do. Let's go ahead and do it. And it's crazy to see it coming to fruition. So it's mind-boggling every time to just to see that, there are people out there that appreciate what we do. And I always consider myself a collector. And as you meet guys like yourself, you guys are even like, far exceed.
I'd say I'm a rare breed. Yeah. I have a lot of very unique, very rare.
It's one of those things.
Pieces.
So Tyler shared with me about like some website and forums and stuff where guys are always talking about glasses and this and that. And I told him, like, I don't even go on that stuff because honestly, I'm around glasses all day, every day. So it's like when I go home,
living it. Exactly.
I'm kind of like just, tuned out from glasses. Like I need to go home and just have, some time away from glasses. But there's a whole world out there where, like, I have my hobbies. For example, my hobbies have always been like martial arts, Muay Thai, kickboxing, as we chatted. And, I was competitive for like all throughout my 20s up until, right when I started this business. Like I love motorcycles, as our Instagram followers, or maybe on YouTube as much. I haven't really posted our riding, but we'll get into that as our channel grows, because I always have in mind of concepts for videos. And like motorcycling, for example, it's huge on YouTube in terms of
absolutely.
Like, but no one's ever kind of put like glasses or bikes or like, so for example,
together, right?
It's one of those things, like our journey to Silmo, it was such an adventure. And to be able to go from England to Paris for Silmo, which is the largest eyewear convention in the world, on a motorcycle.
It's one of my personal goals to go there as well.
Well, see, for me too, right? And this year I finally had the opportunity, and I was like, if I could ride my motorcycle there, like, why the heck not? It's pretty much the same distance, same time as Chicago to here. So it's like I got a nice motorcycle tour, road trip, and I got to combine it with glasses. So it's nice to know that there's this whole world out there of enthusiasts and hobbyists who love this. And for me, it's a profession. For me, this is work. I've never treated it as work because it's truly something I love. But for you guys, it's a true, genuine hobby, and you just love,
I would even call it a passion for me, truly. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I'd say I'm probably unique in this regard, even among enthusiasts. I mean, for myself, I obviously I have a full-time career outside of that. I'm researching eyewear, looking up frames, designing my own. Even I'm trying to get into that space constantly. I mean,
so
I would
a little
say
bit
a
of
lot
Tyler's
of my free
background.
Time as well.
He's, I mean, you can share a bit of what you do in terms of like just he's one of the leading experts, I would say, in machining when it comes to just machining metals. And for, as you know, eyewear, especially like the higher end stuff, this isn't like mass produced sheet metal. They literally take billet, titanium, they CNC it, and that's pretty much what his line of work is essentially. And
yeah, that's exactly right.
For him, it's been like, okay, how can I combine my passion with my job?
Exactly.
It's kind of like motorcycles and glasses. For him, it's glasses and machining essentially.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I'm an engineer by trade. My background, as Jason said, is in manufacturing, specifically machining, with really a focus on titaniums, plastics, all different types of metals. And I'd say I'm pretty good at what I do. I'd love to try to blend some of that into my passion for eyewear. Thinking about what I could do from my standpoint. I'd like to think I have a taste for eyewear. I have a knowledge
Definitely
in manufacturing. I think I have taste. I like to think. So
he's got a healthy appetite for eyewear.
Yeah, I want to see if I can blend the two and see what can happen. So I'm excited for the opportunities that lie ahead of me.
we're essentially going to just be going over some of his favorite pieces, and we'll be discussing Tyler's collection and his just journey through eyewear and
Yeah.
how he would have started in eyewear and where he is now. And it's one of those things where we just wanted to do it as a natural conversation. So we're like, you know what, we're not gonna. It's not an interview. It's not scripted.
There's no script.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be asking. It's just we're gonna get right into his eyewear and how he got from. We were gonna make a joke where he's gonna be like, when I started my journey with Ray-Ban. Did you actually ever wear Ray-Ban?
I did actually.
See?
Yeah.
It's everyone starts somewhere, and everyone starts.
Not something I admit proudly, but
yeah. It is what it is, you know. It's
but when you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know, and the fact is, with the marketing today, brands you hear of, people think, oh, those are good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to knock a brand. I mean, Ray-Ban have gotten to where they are. They have very good marketing. I think back in the day, they were a premium brand.
That's what I was going to say. Historically, they were.
Yeah, Bausch and Lomb, I think back in the day, I think that's a little before my time, to be honest, but I think they were a pretty good brand.
Bausch and Lomb was in the 90s. They,
so, yeah.
They were up until the 90s. They owned Ray-Ban, and then they had that switch over to Luxottica, and things drastically changed after that. But it's just nice to see, you know, and that everyone starts like at the like, I don't want to say at the bottom, but it's, you know, like at the bottom, because we don't know better. For myself, I grew up in eyewear. So my father, he was an optician, and it's funny, I was just telling Tyler not too long ago that I remember when I was a young kid, I'd be handing out flyers at the mall where his store was, and even now how marketing has totally changed. No one's doing paper marketing or anything like that.
No.
And
definitely not.
It just evolved into premium high-end eyewear for myself as well, like handcrafted boutique eyewear. When I first laid my eyes on a Dita frame, I saw a Dita frame in opticianry school, and I was just like, what the heck is that? And my buddy, he took it off his face, and I was just looking at it like, wow, looking at the hinges and just, you know, the polish of the acetate.
Frames, absolutely.
It was the original Statesman, and that just totally changed my perception on eyewear. Whereas up until then, I always thought like Tom Ford or that type of stuff was like the higher end of eyewear.
Because you've heard of them.
Exactly.
Heard of them,
yeah.
You know?
It's just, it's what's, you know, in the media, you're always seeing marketing for like the fashion brands.
Right.
Whereas these brands, they're subtle.
Yeah.
And now obviously with marketing, like certain brands, you know, they're really pushing the envelope and trying to get that recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually haven't even told Jason this yet. I've actually only been wearing eyewear for glasses and need a prescription for probably about 7 years.
Okay.
So I, you know, like I said, you don't know what you don't know, and I guess I never really knew I had poor eyesight. And I'll be honest, my prescription is fairly mild. Enough so that I definitely need corrective prescription. But I'm not like take my glasses off and run into walls and things. But enough that I definitely need them. And the biggest thing for me and why I choose not to wear contacts is glasses elevate your style to a point that you can't otherwise. Mm-hmm. I've always called it, and I've heard other people say the same, it's jewelry for the face. As men, and I know Jason really shares the same opinion, we don't have the opportunity, or at least most of us would, maybe my personality, don't have the opportunity to wear as much jewelry as maybe, let's say, some women do. Outside of maybe a nice timepiece, maybe some rings, a necklace, you know, a bracelet, you know, I'm usually into that sorts of things. But, you know, outside of that, I think we really kind of lack maybe the options of some other people that would, you know, maybe wear those kinds of things.
I always say there's a lot less you can do as a man, and with women, you know, you get your hair done, you get your nails done, you do your eyebrows, you do your makeup. Mm-hmm. Not that men can't do that, but I mean, it's
not for everyone.
Yeah, it's not for my type of man. You know,
no,
we're a bit traditionalist. So
yes, definitely. Yeah.
But like you said, you put on a timepiece, a ring, or like, you know, a subtle bracelet. Mm-hmm. Put on a pair of glasses, and the first thing that someone looks at is your face. When you meet someone for the first time, I've always said this. You know, guys will wear that $1,000 Hermes belt, or they'll be wearing the Gucci shoes, or this or that, or, you know, you've got a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 timepiece on. But the first thing that someone looks at when they approach you is they look at your face. When I see a guy, I'm not walking up to him, shaking his hand, looking down at his shoes, or looking down at his belt, or I'm looking someone in the face, and the first thing you see when you make eye contact is the eyewear.
Yeah.
And it is the first impression.
It is. 100%. I agree. 100%.
And for myself, it's, I've traveled the world now, and I'm always looking at glasses. And I've had a different perception of someone when I see they're wearing a certain type of glasses. Like, for example, if you see someone out in the wild wearing I remember I was in the customs line at London Heathrow when I had just landed, and a gentleman was wearing a Masunaga. And Masunaga, they're not the most distinct frames, but just from this rectangular rivet, I was able to tell that it was a Masunaga. And I said to him, I'm like, "Oh, you're wearing a Masunaga." And he looked at me, he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "How do you know?" And, I shared with him that I'm in the optical industry.
Yeah, but the average person,
they would have no idea.
no
They would
clue.
just think it's
none whatsoever. Yeah.
So it's like, you really do look at people differently. That's the Bellatrix.
Yep, another Masunaga. Maybe a little bit more distinctive than this.
So this was one of the Kenzo frames.
Yep, K3
And
collection.
One of my good buddies, Andre, he has this frame. And I know Andre probably still has this. Well, these are frames, as you know, they're heirloom quality frames.
Absolutely. I mean, if you take care of your things, and if you buy a piece of this quality, you should.
And like, I remember I first sold the Bellatrix, and it must have been 2018.
Yeah.
So we're going back like 7 years ago. And to see it now, it's still such a gorgeous piece.
The coining detail on this frame is, I don't know of another frame quite detailed as it.
I mean, I guess we're starting with the Bellatrix now. So
yeah, why not? It's a great piece to start with, as good as anything.
I've got it in my hands.
Well, let me just talk about the frame I'm wearing right now before we skip over it. This is a Jacques Marimage Reynolds. I'm sure people know of JMM. Pretty hot brand at the moment. Mm-hmm. They've been around about 10 years now. Pretty popular brand in media. I think do a very good job in marketing. I think they're a very high quality brand. I think they're a great option for someone looking for a bold styling. Not the only option out there. There's many other brands. I think there's a lot of exclusively JMM collectors. I think, power to you. And I think you have great taste in eyewear. I think some of you guys maybe should open your mind a little bit to some other styles. Maybe some, Adidas, some I Love a Coney, Masunagas, Leisure Society is another good one.
Leisure Society is great.
I like Leisure Society a lot. Chrome Hearts even. There's so many. I could go on for hours. I don't want this video to be half an hour long.
Yeah, it's probably still going to be a half an hour long.
Well, it actually probably will be, right? We got a lot to talk about, don't we? Yeah. But yeah, this is frame. It's got a custom tint in it. I actually did the tint myself. It's a 50% violet bi-gradient down to a 30% rose at the bottom. I have a tint in pretty much everything. I'll get to that frame on the end of us here. My only clear untinted pair of glasses in my whole collection, if you can believe that. But yeah, very nice custom tints. I think tints are the way to go. We'll talk about that a little bit more.
And that's, as a lot of you know, like that's our specialty. We've got over 350 tint samples in-house, and we can do just about anything. And it's funny because I was having this conversation with Tyler where he says a lot of places he goes into, they don't even have any samples. And it's very hard to pick a tint or to get a tint without actually being able to physically see it. So
absolutely,
it's one of those things here at the Optical Tailor. We really like to provide that tailored experience. And I would never just show you something on a web page or in a book and, try to sell you on that. You really want to be able to see it, try it on in person.
Absolutely. Well, what Jason touched on is huge. Having tint samples and examples and combinations of different flash mirror coatings, and even different colored AR coatings, because even the different types of colors of AR coatings that you have can actually change it because there's different colors of that.
And different flash coatings will look different on a specific type of tint.
Completely.
So it can totally... and it was funny because when we were at the Novacell factory in Chateau Thierry, the tint master there, he actually showed us how different flash coatings react on different tints.
Yeah.
And it just totally can throw off the finished look.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. A lot of thing actually, when you go for like a darker tint, what I've learned is sometimes it's a good idea not to put any front side AR on the frame or lenses. For example, these lenses don't have any front side AR on them. So in my opinion, this is almost kind of a look to get a flash mirror coating on the front because you see the reflectiveness of the lenses.
Exactly, yeah.
Like almost like having a silver flash mirror. And if you guys don't know what a flash mirror is, it's basically like if you've ever seen like an Oakley sunglass or something like that, like a very sports oriented, or like a Nike sunglass for sports, you can like see the like very vibrant reflection of them. That's a mirror that helps block extra sunlight and things like that. A flash mirror does that to a lesser degree, but it's more of a fashion statement. Problems with those are, in my opinion, you can get a lot of internal reflections with them sometimes.
Well, I had a client, we did a really cool flash coating for him. Unfortunately, he has floaters, and he put them on for the first time. And he's like, I see this squiggly thing, just glare going past. And I'm scratching my head thinking, because I wear those lenses myself. My wife, Rena, she wears those lenses. And I'm scratching my head. I'm like, what's this glare he's talking about? And he's like, oh, it's gone. And he's like, it's back again.
And it's back.
And then I was like, do you have floaters? He's like, yes, I do have floaters. So then I literally came to the conclusion that he was seeing his floaters reflecting off of the backside of the mirror.
Correct.
So mirrors, yes, they look cool, but they're really not great for every application.
Correct.
And especially if you're a person who only has 1 or 2 pairs and they're like your go-to lenses, I definitely wouldn't recommend a mirror in that case. If you've got a collection, as myself or Tyler here, then definitely mirrors, they do have a place, but it's not the end-all be-all, and definitely not something you would want on your like everyday daily pair of glasses if you only have a couple pairs.
Right. For the right person, for the right application, and there's a lot of factors. Depends on the darkness of your tint, how much light's actually being let in through the backside of your frame. It's a whole topic in of itself. But the purpose of this look, not putting front side AR on, is kind of twofold. Putting a front side AR on the frame or on the lenses can actually change the color slightly, because almost all AR coatings have a slight color to them. There are some clear ones.
Well,
but for example, blue and like a light sheen of green will reflect
or
it.
even like the yellow, or some of them have like a purplish tone.
Yeah, exactly.
So we actually, again, I'm going to go back to Novacell. With Novacell, we've got the Onyx Absol, which it's one of the first coatings that I've ever actually seen that is totally residual free. So there's no residual color. I'm actually just going to go off camera and grab a pair here for you guys to give you an idea.
Yeah, there are some of those totally clear AR coatings nowadays, which are great, because for something like this with such a vibrant violet tint, you want the violet. You don't want to add a secondary color with an AR coating and change what you aimed for.
So we've
something
got
like
this,
that would be perfect.
we've got this color here, and as you can see, there's literally zero residual on that. And
That's the perfect option for a nice tint like that.
And this is it's our pink. It's our Diabolo lens. So essentially, it's got a pink to like a peach gradient, and it's super vibrant. Even right now with the lights, it still blocks out just the right amount of light while giving you a cool look. And especially when you have a lighter tint, you don't want to throw off that color. And the Onyx Absol, that's a great option for those of you who are wanting to do cool tints and not have anything. This is what we do standard, and it's a really good option for those of you looking for custom tints.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually complimented that frame the moment I actually saw that lens tint. It was incredible. So I thought it was excellent to look at. Beautiful.
You can try it on. It's plano, so there's no prescription.
Yeah, exactly.
You can look through it and tell me what.
So I think these are a gorgeous, gorgeous tint.
And like looking out of that lens, you kind of like, doesn't it actually just like a brighter?
No, I mean, these are an amazing pair, and the beauty of having a lens tint is they can enhance your vision. I mean, certain colors will increase contrast. They can help you see better. And it's such a nice viewing experience. They're honestly gorgeous.
One of our clients, Mukesh, you would have seen him in our last video when I was hand delivering the
These are
MOCs in the UK. So he was coming out of a Zeiss Individual 3, which is the top of the line Zeiss lens, and I had him fitted in our Vulcane Austral, which is the top of the line lens from Novacell. And he put that pair of MOCs on, and he couldn't stop saying wow. He was just looking at him. He's like, wow, wow, wow. He must have said wow about 12 times. And it was such a genuine reaction that we caught on camera.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know what it is, but he's like, the contrast is so good.
Yes.
And then I met him a week later again in England, and he's like the tint, it's been amazing. And it's a very slight tint. It's about a 25 to 30% gray to a clear gradient. So nothing dark. It doesn't overpower the eyes. And even though he was already wearing such a premium lens, the Zeiss Individual 3, which is the top of the line lens from Zeiss, there was still something missing there. And when he put on the Austral with the with the slight tint, it was a wow moment. And I'm so glad we captured it on camera, because that's like the truest testament that you can get.
Absolutely.
When someone just puts it on for the first time. And again, we're comparing apples to apples, because it's not as if he was wearing, a poor quality lens. He had like the best out there on the market.
Yes, and not all lenses are created equally. I must say that is absolutely true. Yes, your prescription is probably the most important thing. If you have the wrong prescription in any lens, you're not going to see great. You with the right prescription, the right lens, a quality lens, and even on top of that, the right tints, you're going to have vision like you've never experienced before. I mean, it's really better than natural vision. You have enhanced vision.
Enhanced vision, yeah.
It's true. It's almost like superhuman vision. It's really an amazing experience, and anyone who is looking for that, I highly recommend that you try it. It's pretty incredible experience. It really is.
What was your first pair of glasses out of your collection here?
Yeah,
what was the one that?
Yeah, we'll go in order here. Kind of show my revolution or my evolution.
Evolution,
not revolution. So starting here, that
was the first one.
Yeah, these are.
I mean, it makes sense.
My first nice pair.
Nice
pair. These are a brand called LA Eyeworks, handmade in Japan, acetate. Very, very nice frame.
Yeah.
So
I mean, see, even that's for a first pair. That's a cool pair of glasses.
For a nice first pair. I like to think I have pretty good taste. It fits well. The bridge is very comfortable. I love the colorway. I love the acetate stylings that LA Eyeworks does. Again,
I love the acetate because here it's one of those things where North Americans, I mean, I'm not trying to, but we're boring. Like when it comes to our eyewear and our style.
Yes.
Even so when I go from Ontario to Quebec, it just changes.
Really?
It's almost like going from England to France.
That's
like
interesting.
from London. Okay, you got like cool stuff in London, but like outside of London, even like the English, they're very conservative with their glasses.
Yes.
But then you go down to Paris, you see all the cool, colorful stuff.
Oh yeah.
And the Valentines all over the place.
Yeah, if you look at any French eyewear brand, I mean, look at them. Yeah.
And it's here. It's so hard. Like when I used to work at my previous workplaces, getting someone out of black or getting them out of they would even find tortoise would be like like, oh, I just want black. I want black. And guys, so you have to get out of black. Black is it's great, and it's great to have as a part of a collection. But wearing just a black frame all the time, it's very monochromatic.
Yes.
And if you really want to express yourself and your style, like when I look at this collection here, we have two solid black pieces, and this is like and they're both classics. For a classic frame, sometimes like black, it is it's a great option.
Yeah.
You've got the Columba here.
Yes,
and,
but they're not my only frames, right?
Exactly.
So if you want to go for that style, you want to go for a classic style, maybe like with a suit, a dressed up look, something professional. Maybe like I'm in like a big meeting, something like that. I think they're a good choice. As an everyday style, I agree. They
like
can be
this
little
from a
boring.
distance, it looks black,
right?
But when you look at it up close, right, it just kind of it breaks up that contrast a bit, and it's got a bit of a.
It's interesting, and
exactly.
And I firmly believe in eyewear. I don't want what everyone else has. I'm different. I should look different. Not crazy. I don't want to look.
No, you want to have your own unique identity.
I don't want people to look at me and think, what is that guy wearing? I don't want that, but I want them to think, wow, that guy is wearing really interesting eyewear.
Yeah.
I want them to think that, and I can't tell you, and this is absolutely true. When you're wearing a nice piece of eyewear and you meet somebody, it's a conversation starter. It gets them to think about you. People will say, wow, those are really nice glasses. You got to tell me about those.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, in business, in personal life, there's been a lot of opportunities that have been open to me just based on wearing a nice piece of eyewear that people have asked me about. I've met business contacts through it. I've met friends through it. Other eyewear enthusiasts through it, countless encounters that have turned into positive experiences in my life just from wearing a nice piece of eyewear and having a conversation about it. Truly is a special thing.
It's like, it's a different type of club. I remember, so at Silmo, you've got the best opticians in the world are there, and you have a lot of the, like the highest end brands, or a lot of the independent brands are all there in one room, and walking around there, everyone's wearing cool glasses. And I was wearing my MOCs, and I was going past this other gentleman, and I just kind of did one of these to him, and then he's like, and then I did this, and then he was just like, oh yeah, it was just like we didn't even have to exchange or words or a conversation. But it's just like
how people on bikes, they
pretty much.
other,
motorcyclists, we always. In England, they do the head nod because your right hand's on the throttle because you're on the on the other side of the road. But
absolutely, yeah,
it's like it's an insiders club, and that's really what it is.
correct.
And it's it's something that's really unique.
Definitely, it's a small club of people, but it's a conversation starter, and it's a lovely thing to have.
Like I didn't realize, like he told me that like this whole world on the internet where these guys are discussing their glasses and this and that, and it's amazing.
It is amazing
to think that here I was thinking, can I start this business just doing this type of stuff? But then there's this whole world of like enthusiasts and
oh yeah, I've learned so much.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That are actually looking for guys like us to be able to provide them this type of stuff, because even as opticians, most opticians are so boring. And there's people ask, they're like, how do you get these clients coming in from here or there? How come like your business is I don't want to say not very local, but everyone is traveling from at least like the closest person is coming at least a minimum of half an hour to 45 minutes away.
Right.
And then, we've had international clients from all over the world. And now, we have gentlemen such as yourself coming in from hours away. And it's because not that there's not nice eyewear, like you said, in Chicago.
No, there's many boutiques. I mean, I can't even name them.
And it's like none of our brands are brands that we only carry in our boutique. Like there are other boutiques that have this, but the experience that, I strive to offer, we strive to offer, and, the expertise that we bring to the table, I think there's a reason. Like, for example, just before we started this video, there's a gentleman who just called and he's like, I was referred by this optician. And it's one of those things when even other opticians in the industry are referring, prospective clients to you. I think it really goes to show that what we do is different. And, it really gives me that drive to just keep doing what we're doing and keep building on. And we're still a young company. So, we're still just kind of getting rolling with what we do. But it's been crazy to just see the progression, and it's thanks to individuals such as yourself.
Absolutely. Well, that comes deserved. I mean, you don't get where you are by, not earning it, by working hard and, showing that you know what you're doing, and showing these clients that you have that, you do carry these luxury brands and the services you provide, the lens quality you provide, the, standing behind your product. I mean, you don't get there without doing anything, you don't. And as soon as you build a reputation, it can be torn down too if you don't stand behind your word. And, and you get there by working, and you really have, I would say.
And I think it just kind of goes back to me, like as a teenager up until like my entire 20s, I've always been very competitive.
Sure, same.
And I started in martial arts, like doing kickboxing, Muay Thai. I was 17 at that time. I saw Vanderlei Silva on YouTube, and I was like, whatever this is, I need to learn that stuff. I was like, well, that's crazy. And it's like after you put so much time and effort into it, I never had any intentions to compete. It was always like, what, I'm just going to go train just to, for fitness and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then, it became one of those things where it turned competitive, and then I competed like fairly high level amateur here in Canada. And it was one of those things where I think like that instilled that drive and just that being self-motivated, because like in martial arts, it's one of those things where if you're not motivated and you're looking to compete, you're looking to fight, there's that guy who's waking up in the morning, he's doing his runs, he's doing everything that he needs to be doing to make sure that you have a bad day. True. And that's what it is. It's like when you're in the ring, it's a bad day can be a bad day.
Sure, I'm not a martial artist, but I can understand what
a bad day is like, oh, okay, maybe you got a hard prescription or something to deal with.
For you is getting your teeth knocked out.
It could be, right?
Right.
That drive and motivation, it was always there, and I was like, there's no way I can give up.
Sure, no.
I'm like, we're gonna do this, and
absolutely, you put your mind to it, and you do it. You just do it,
and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's been a fun journey, not an easy one, but I mean, I don't think I've ever done anything easy.
I think the most rewarding things in life aren't.
Exactly.
I would argue that. I should say that all my frames, all my pieces are always going to be photochromic. I have photochromic lenses in everything that I own. I think that if you don't get photochromics in your pieces, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. Personally, I have such nice frames, in my opinion. I spent so much time, effort, and thought styling them for myself and working with others to style myself. and I enjoy wearing them so much, I won't want to reserve them to only
Exactly.
wearing indoors. And when I go outside, I can't wear them anymore.
I've got the
You know?
Mach 6 here, the Mach 6 limited edition, and I think the first 3-4 years I had this frame, I just wore it as a pair of sunglasses,
Hmm.
and I love this frame so much. I'm like, I want to wear it more. Like, I
Yeah.
want to wear it all the time. I want to wear
Yeah.
it to events. So I ended up getting photochromic lenses in this as well. So photochromic, I have to definitely agree there. It's the way to go.
I love it. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I mean, it adds a little bit cost to the lenses. But you know, if you look at it in terms of not having to buy an optical frame and not having to buy a sunglass frame, if you're merging the two,
Definitely worth it.
and no, they're not technically 100% replacement of a sunglass. You know, I mean, depending on where you live. For example, like I said, I've lived in Chicago. Out of all my frames, and I own probably close to 50 frames, I only have 2 dedicated true sunglasses.
Wow.
I generally go with the Transitions Extra Active product. Normally, I'm a brown guy, sometimes gray. They do darken behind the windshield in the car. They're one of, I believe, Zeiss Extra Gray, Zeiss Photo Fusion Extra Gray,
Yep.
and the Transitions Extra Active. I believe are the only 2 products in the market that do activate behind the windshield, if I'm correct.
You have Hoya Sensity Dark.
Okay,
Yep,
Hoya Sensity Dark. Okay,
They,
okay. But there's only a handful of products that do. The standard line photochromic products will not. And I wear these frames in the car all the time. And you have things like Transitions Eyewear and some other products from some other manufacturers. For where I live in Chicago, we're not like Las Vegas or like Saudi Arabia. But I almost never fully need a full true sunglass, you know, for what I do for my lifestyle.
It's funny here though, like in Toronto, where it's very similar. We're on the you guys are on Lake Michigan as well.
Yeah, we have fairly similar climates.
But here it's like it gets sunny, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah, and we do too. I mean,
it's like it gets the sun can really blast you here.
But I mean, these extra actives, they get very dark. I mean, they get dark enough where you cannot see them. They turn to a full sunglass, even behind the windshield.
Another thing, I'm just gonna throw this in for a lot of our viewers, our clients. Photochromic lenses will always get darker in colder temperatures.
Correct.
So it's just the nature of the molecules in the lens itself. So sometimes, you know, you'll find that my lenses are super dark in the wintertime, but in the summertime when it's 30, 35 degrees, we're talking like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, that they're just not as dark. So it's not a defect. It's just the nature of photochromic lenses in general. That's
correct. Yeah,
that's how they
and the
work.
Extra Active does actually get darker than the standard like Gen S line in higher heat. Just an example.
Which one is this one you've got?
This is a Barton Prera Xander. This came as a sun frame, and I turned it into an optical. This is my first tinted pair. This is a 20%, I'd say like an olive green tint gradient. This was my first jump into the tinted lens, and I haven't turned back. As I said, my LA Eyeworks pair is my only clear frame, and I haven't looked back since. To me, my opinion, there's no reason to not get at least a light tint. I mean, if you want something very subtle, a 10, 12, 15%, it's very, very subtle. If nothing else, it just makes the glasses look a little bit more interesting, a little bit nicer. It helps the vision as well, adds a little bit better contrast if you choose the right color. It brings down the overhead lighting just a little bit, especially if you're sensitive to light. It's a nice viewing experience.
Barton Prera, a really cool brand. They're now under the Thelios banner, I believe, or
LVMH.
LVMH, yeah, Thelios.
LVMH.
So
that was a fairly recent thing.
But I mean, I was actually just having that conversation with Tyler yesterday. It's one of those things where a lot of these independent brands, you know, eventually at some point, if they do end up getting bought out, it's not that the entire DNA changes, and typically they will still operate independently of the parent company. But Barton Prera, it's been a fairly recent acquisition, so I don't think too much has changed yet.
I will say, in transparency, the customer service, in my experience, has gone down a little bit. I did reach out to them after their acquisition on some things, and I didn't actually even hear back. Other than that, I still think their quality is excellent. I think that they've maintained what they've been producing. I bought my frames prior to their acquisition. I've seen some frames after their acquisition, some of the new stuff that they've came out with, like the Armstrong and some of the other pieces. I think they're just as good in quality. I don't think they change any of their manufacturing practices or where they're made or anything. But I would say that's my one criticism that I've noticed is the customer service did seem to be a little bit, but that was only one instance and one interaction, and maybe just a fluke. So actually, this is a very special piece for me. I get the opportunity to travel to Japan for business occasionally, and these were a purchase in Japan. In Japan, they actually have genuine Masunaga stores. They sell only Masunaga.
Well, Masunaga flagship store, so
correct,
they're operated by Masunaga themselves.
Yes, correct. And this is actually an Asian fit model. So what these actually have is they're more pronounced nose pads. So generally, people with an Asian nose structure, they'll have a lower bridge nose and kind of less pronounced bridge, so they don't come out as far. So they'll design them with higher profile acetate nose pads on them to kind of help compensate for that. And even though this is an Asian fit, and I do not have a typical Asian fit nose, I have a pretty high bridge, kind of standard European fit nose, these actually do fit me extremely well.
So. And one thing I'm also going to point out is it's funny that Masunaga as a brand, they've been around for 120 years.
Yeah, it's their anniversary.
And you guys would have seen our last video, some of the really cool and unique 120th anniversary pieces they have coming out. But they're still very focused on just doing what they do. It's been about the last year, I would say now 2 years, that Masunaga, even like online, they've started to get a lot more recognition. But the Japanese way of doing things is they just want perfection. They're happy to do it quietly in the background. They're not looking for accolades.
Yeah.
As long as they know and they feel that what we're doing is top quality.
Absolutely.
They don't need trophies and awards or this or that. But speaking to Yoshi, who is the representative for Masunaga in the USA, so he's from the Masunaga family and he lives in California. I was like, what are plans for Masunaga? He's like, we're like a bit busy right now thinking about expansion and growth and opening more stores. But the funny thing is, they're still looking to just grow in Japan. They're not looking to open any boutiques outside of Japan, and they really still want to focus on their own market. I really appreciate the fact that even as a brand, for example, like MOC, they don't allow you to like retail online.
Right.
They really value that experience. That when you're looking for something of that quality, or Dita Epi Luxury, for example, Dita, for example, they don't even show Epi Luxury or have it listed on their website. It's truly in like the world of watches, it's like what you would call off catalog.
Yes.
So it's something where if you know where to go, that's the only place you will find it.
Yeah.
And we're one of the only retailers here that do that. And it's funny, Tyler mentioned, he's like, I've never heard anyone ever speak about.
No, other than the optical tailor. I mean, I would say I'm pretty knowledgeable in terms of my brands. It's rare that I do hear of a new brand. I don't know everything, of course. Not in the slightest, but I, outside of the optical tailor, I'd never heard of Dita Epi Luxury. Obviously, I know Dita, but Epi Luxury, I didn't even hear of until
now we've got Innovati coming out, which is going to be their custom gem set collection. So Dita pushes the envelope, and as a lot of you know, it is one of my favorite brands. I'm wearing a Dita right now. It's a
lovely piece. Yeah,
the Mach 6. It's a timeless
very
classic.
Nice piece.
When you're starting, you always, like, we started from scratch. And when I say scratch, it was like, literally 3 months, no planning. Okay, I have to start a business. How am I going to do it? And I knew as long as Dita has my back, like, we're good to go. And it's one of those companies where seeing them at Silmo, having one of the largest booths, and yes, it's a little exclusive. They don't just let you walk right in, but they have to protect their brand. It's such an in-demand brand, even within the industry.
It is, yeah.
It's one of those things they can't give their clients the experience if they just let everyone walk through. Whereas, there's only so many individuals in there that can help you.
But it's not done as like you're not good enough to be in the booth. It's not like that. It's that the fact that they couldn't cater to every single person that wants Dita. They have to choose to be more selective because everybody wants Dita. Everyone wants to work with Dita. They have to be selective because they are, so widely regarded and so sought after to be chosen for. So they kind of have to.
Silmo was one of those places where it really opens your eyes into the industry as a whole, because a lot of brands, they focus on marketing directly to the consumer. Whereas at Silmo, all these brands, they're not marketing to the consumer, they're marketing to the professionals, like to the opticians, to the optometrists. So it's on us to to pick and choose, or to find what we like, or what the brands that like what brands we want to work with, and to see like the presence that Dita holds even amongst some of the top brands in the world.
Absolutely. I
It
mean,
was
everyone's
it
at
was
Silmo,
yeah,
yeah.
it was so cool to see, and to be treated like family. Things. I mean, we are an extension of the Dita family, and
Yeah.
that's what we always tell our clients. Like, if you're purchasing from us, or you are a part of the Optical Tailor family, and you know that anything that happens, we've got your back. And this is
Absolutely.
what I was telling Tyler. I'm like, it's never going to be one of those things. Oh, take it up with a company, or sorry, you're 2 months out of warranty, I can't help. Like, he had an MOC that he needed help with, and in the US, no one was willing to help.
Yeah,
And it's one
yeah.
of those things. I was like, don't worry, like, let
Yeah,
me.
I can speak a little bit about that. I had a small crack in my temple, my MSC. It's a very special piece. I'm going to show it at the end. And I tried to source through basically everything that I could. I was between contacting Masunaga directly. They were not able to help me. Contacting 3 dealers of Masunaga in the United States, through Chicago, through California, and then also through Utah. Also, not again able to help me. Contacted the optical tailor. This again is via email. We never spoke on the phone. We hadn't met in person yet. Through all of this, the timing worked out where he was actually at
I was
Silmo
there, so I
and
was like,
spoke to them directly in person about
yeah.
it. In a few days, I mean, he got right back to me and said, "Yeah, send it here. Do this, and it's taken care of."
It was
I
one of those
mean,
things
it was
where,
incredible.
of course, they have to make sure things are done a certain way. Someone calls them, they could have gotten a frame through nefarious ways. Who
Sure, yeah,
knows,
yeah,
right? So it's like they kind of have to vet how
yeah,
they're receiving stuff and that they're working on.
right,
For example, like, imagine they receive a stolen frame or
right,
stolen
yeah,
MOC or
yeah,
something, right? And someone's like, "Can you?" But they know, okay, if it's coming through the optical tailor, like, it's
yeah,
legit,
yeah,
and they deal obviously through retailers, or their authorized retailers. But a lot of even those authorized retailers, they don't want to go through the
no,
hassle of, like, this frame wasn't purchased from us,
hmm
but me being an enthusiast, I'm going to do everything I can to help him get that frame
and you did,
sorted
and
out.
beyond that, yeah,
And I just, the next day when I spoke to Yoshi, I was like, what's the best way to get this taken care of? And like, that's what, like, I love to provide to our clients, is that true. We try to connect you the best we can with exactly where you can go, or how we can kind of get that problem sorted out. And going back to Dita and Masunaga, it was great to even be in the Dita booth and to see the Masunaga guys come in, and we're all just sharing drinks and just like having a conversation. Like, there's no rivalry or animosity or anything like that, even amongst like the top of the top of
yeah,
these type of independent brands. It's really like team independence
yeah.
versus the designer stuff. I'll say so.
Yeah, and this is a huge favor from Jason. I did not buy this frame from the optical tailor. He's not making any of the money from the repair. This is a purely Masunaga thing. I had not purchased anything from the optical
No,
tailor before. I was not an established client. You went out of your way for me just to do this favor for me, receiving none of the reward or benefit out
no,
of it.
it's what we do.
You
Yeah,
did
yeah.
me a huge favor wherever even Masunaga direct said no.
It's
I can't speak highly enough about the kind of servers that he will go to for his clients. I mean, that just really goes to, I mean, that's a big reason why I'm here today, made the trip out
oh, we appreciate
to
it.
you. So I mean, that means so much to me.
The next piece is the Jaeger. That's one that I've always had my eye on
Yeah,
in the JMM collection. I haven't, oddly enough, pulled the trigger on a JMM yet.
yeah,
I've worked on quite a few, got some really cool pieces for our clients, and there's certain pieces that always catch my eye, like Silverton. Two of my
it's a
clients
nice
wanted it.
frame.
Yeah, like, that was it
Yeah,
was one of those ones where every time I was like, ooh, I don't want to part with this one, but you know what I mean?
absolutely.
I always say you can't keep everything for yourself.
Yeah, I'll touch on this
But
piece real quick.
oh,
This
sorry,
no, you're good.
I didn't
I put
notice
them on.
you put on
I
the
don't wear
Columba.
sunglasses right
Yeah, yeah,
longer.
he's got the Oconee
By the
Columba
way,
on.
this is the Masanaga 096. I don't think I said the model number on it. It's a very nice frame. I'm not sure if it's a Japan exclusive or not. Well, I'm sure the optical tailor could source it even if it is. But this is the Oconee Columba. This piece I love. It's kind of your classic Wayfarer shape, but turn it up to 11. The acetate quality on here is incredible. All the Oconee acetate frames do the serrations at the temple tips. really helps grip behind the ears. I'm someone who just has naturally oily skin. I commonly have problems with a lot of acetate frames slipping on my face. These do not. The bridge sculpting on them is incredible. I would say up there with the best.
I actually really like, it's the dumbbell detailing they call it.
Yeah.
It's literally,
hmm
looks like a dumbbell,
It's so nice.
and it's super
I
cool.
love their details with the screwed hinges. So they have a screwed tube, a threaded tube system for the hinges that you can actually tighten with the screws if they ever become loose. Some of the things that I've seen in some of the high quality thick acetate pieces that are kind of heat sunk, they can kind of become loose over
They'll
time,
start wobbling
or
over
start
time.
wibbling,
The
or some get
rivet through
riveted.
is always the best. Yeah.
Yeah, riveted. But some of those really thick 8-10 millimeter pieces, you can't really reliably rivet. They can be
Yeah.
challenging. So this is a really nice construction method that I don't see a lot of brands doing, and I think it gives it a nice pop with the contrasting screws. They do it in gold and silver as well. I love this piece a lot. It is a classic black. It's a very
That
kind of
one's one that
formal
looks
look.
cool in black, though.
It's
That's like a
nice.
nice, suited and
Yeah,
booted
this
type
is
of a
a
frame.
30% amber gradient tint that fades to probably about a 10% at the bottom. Again, photochromic lens, transition to extractive brown. This is one of my most comfortable pieces. It's not a light piece, but to me, weight, it's not irrelevant, but it's more about frame balance.
I was going to say it's the balance. It's how
Yeah.
things are weighted.
And Nakoni, and I mean, on pretty much all these brands, they do balancing very, very well. You really, in my opinion, you really want to look for frames that are balanced, well, especially towards the back. If you have a frame that's very front heavy, it's going to have a tendency to slip down your nose. It's going to feel heavier. These are not light frames, but the balance is key.
It's almost like it's like a counterweight. The temple tips,
exactly.
they
That's a
act
great word. Yeah.
like a counterweight. So that frame, it's not sliding down your face, especially, if you have like really light frames, like let's say Makita, for example, or whatnot. And one cool thing about Makita is the temples are very malleable.
Yeah.
But if you have a high prescription, it can really, as light as that frame is, once you put a prescription in, it really causes that frame to just start sliding down your face.
Yeah, correct.
So that's where a little bit of that counterweight at the, you notice it here in this LA works, even though it's very discreet and subtle, but, it does help anchor that frame better behind the ears there.
Definitely, yeah. My keys are a very comfortable frame, but absolutely, like you said,
sometimes
you
have to be careful.
Prescription, you don't go with a high index plastic for whatever reason, you can have a little bit of challenge there. This is a Jacques Marimage piece. As Jason said, this is the Jaeger. Very, very comfortable piece. Even a unique piece in the JMM collection. It has the saddle type bridge.
Yeah.
I think it's super comfortable. I'd say it took a little bit of getting used to because you do have so much nose contact with the silicone bridge. But as I said, someone with oily skin like me, this is perfect.
It's almost like, so a saddle bridge essentially is if you have a metal frame fitted with a saddle bridge, it fits just like an acetate.
Yeah.
I actually had a gentleman reach out the other day. He was having issues with, I reached back to him the other day because he was having issues with a specific type of a frame. And he found with the nose pads, it's sitting off the nose rather than kind of sinking down compared to his Barden Pereira as well. So Barden Pereira, of course, being an acetate model, it really saddles that nose bridge. It sits down just like how you would sit down on a saddle on a horse. But with the saddle bridges on metal frames, and not all, very few actually metal frames even incorporate these type of bridges.
Very few.
But it gives you that same feel of having essentially an acetate frame,
right?
But with the benefit of a rubberized silicone nose pad.
And they're adjustable still. You can still adjust them for the width of them. You can even adjust the height of them a little bit. Almost no one really actually has both ears perfectly leveled. Most eyebrows are perfectly leveled. So it still allows you to adjust with a standard acetate frame. You have
that's a really
very little, if none.
This reminds me of the Masunaga Toby.
It does.
For those of you, and if you like navigators or aviators, but you find sometimes there's too much of a droop, this shape here really it has that upward swoop that that helps alleviate that droopiness.
It's a great frame.
That's probably one of my, out of here. That's probably my personal favorite. I really like the Bellatrix as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, I've always had my eye on that one.
This is a great piece. I do really, really like this piece. The shape on it, like you touched on, super unique.
It's got like a 5 millimeter edge thickness with the titanium.
Yep, exactly. They do make this in the 10th anniversary edition with the
side
thicker
shields.
Titanium side shields.
Yep.
It is a pricey model, I will say. But if you have the money for it, it looks like a very, very nice.
JMM is they're trying to get into that world of they want to be the Hermes of eyewear. And
yeah, it's a good.
Hermes has been around since the 1800s. These guys have been around for 10, 11 years.
They've done a lot in 10 years. But yeah,
like their marketing is great. But
they do have great marketing.
Let's see where they are in the next 10 years, because that's what I always say. Like all the brands we work with here, the youngest brand is probably Dita, which is about 30 years old. Like, for example, Cutler and Gross, 1969, Linda Farrow, 1970, Masunaga, 19. Actually, Makita has been around since 2003. So they're a bit younger than Dita.
True.
But we work with brands that have been around for quite some time, decades. And nowadays, with marketing, with the internet, like JMM, they're coming up in a different era.
They are.
Back when Dita, Masunaga is totally different, but when Dita started, when Makita started, the internet still wasn't as much of a thing. Social media wasn't a thing. So these guys, they really built themselves on quality and the service and the actual inherent nature of the product. Whereas a lot of newer brands now, social media marketing hype is a real thing.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing I have seen, like where nowadays everyone's like, oh, I was at a store in England, and I was just in the line waiting to pay. And the lady behind me, she's like, oh, you have nice glasses. I was like, thank you. We just started talking. She's like, oh, I'm buying a pair of Tom Fords. I was like, oh, well, next time maybe you should look into Dita. And then she was like, oh, what's Dita? I've never heard of Dita. And then, I started explaining to her a bit, and she's
like I was saying, it starts conversation.
Exactly. It starts conversation.
It's so true. It's so true.
And then she's like, oh, what's that brand, the Hermes of glasses they call it? I was like, JMM. So she hadn't heard of Dita, but she had heard of JMM because JMM's all over. Yeah. Like it's trending on Instagram or social media.
Marketing. They do good marketing. They really do.
And the finish of the product, it is great.
It is.
And it's one of those things. Anything you give to the Japanese, you can expect perfection. Like
if you haven't noticed, every single one of my frames is handmade in Japan.
In Japan.
Every single one is. And that's not to say I only buy Japanese-made frames, but the majority are.
But
I do like some French brands. I do like a few Italian brands. Some German brands are very nice. But I do gravitate towards Japanese brands. But
and anything they do, it's just
they do.
That's why sometimes you'll hear like, oh, this is low quality, or that quality of this is better than like. Sure, things can differ, and
but even a low quality Japanese frame is still
good.
High quality compared to a lot of other things.
And anything like at this level, it's like, for example, like T. Henry is a brand that we were discussing.
Very opulent.
I had a gentleman bring in a T. Henry frame, and he's like, what do you think of this? And I'm like, even if the style isn't for me, I was actually gifted a T. Henry frame. Great frame. But I mean, the only person I've ever seen wearing it is Conor McGregor. And, we all know Conor's quite the character. But it's one of those things where even if the style isn't for me, I can't not fault it on the quality. Like the quality, the build, top notch.
Absolutely.
It's still, it's still amongst the best eyewear. So
yeah, T. Henrys are very nice. I have a lot more with me. So yeah, T. Henry. I don't think they get enough brand recognition. I would say, I've heard people say they're similar to a JMM, and they are. I would say JMM doesn't have a patent on bold, opulent eyewear, nor would I want them to.
Exactly.
They've been around 10 years. They didn't invent anything. They didn't patent
they're
anything.
They're not, I don't want to say they're not pushing the boundaries in a sense of,
no.
Like when you look at a Dita Epi Luxury and you look at the way, the modular lens system, the temples, you're like, this is different. Like there's actually some engineering and thought along with design that's gone into that. And that's what Dita is huge on. The engineering and just the R&D behind their frames is insane. Whereas a lot of like acetate JMMs, it's no different than what you see here in a Nakoni.
Absolutely.
Or what you see here in a Cutler.
I agree.
But because it's JMM, there's that 30% premium on it.
It's the name, And I mean, they're not to the point where you're seeing like, a Gucci frame. People buy it because, they've heard of Gucci, they've heard of Prada, they've heard of Tiffany, they've heard of these brands. They're not at that point. But I try to buy brands that are not. I'm not buying it for the side, for the name on the side. I'm buying it for the materials, the craftsmanship, that they hold, and the tradition that they hold. But yeah, this is a T. Henry frame. Very, very nice frame. I think they're a very underrated brand. if you like the JMMs, if you like even the Adidas, if you like them, I think it's a nice brand you should check out. They're excellent. I think Tyler Henry is a great designer. Check them out. I think they make a great product.
The weight of this is really nice too.
So that's 100% beta titanium, extremely flexible, very, very lightweight. Probably my most comfortable frame, I would say. And it's normally hard to get comfortable and bold, I would say. This is kind of both. Now, it's a thin frame.
It's subtle bold.
It's subtle bold.
Like from the front, you don't notice it as much, but when you look at that profile, with that 5 millimeter lens trim.
But this is a frame that's basically a blank canvas for a perfect lens tint. This is maybe a little bit subtle of a lens tint for me. I'm actually thinking about maybe redoing it a little bit more bold. This is a subtle, like a rose, maybe like a 20-25% rose gradient. And I love rose to look through. It's excellent contrast color. It helps kind of soothe the vision. There's actually a similar kind of color called FL41. Scientifically,
it's a therapeutic lens.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's like a rose, but has maybe a little bit more brown in it.
Yep.
Very, very nice color to look through. Excellent. But this is a perfect canvas for a really nice lens tint, and even like a flash mirror would be.
I was going to say that, yeah, because it's got the thinner profile.
And do you have a UV light or anything to show any photochromic? This frame looks excellent with the photochromics. Yeah, you should definitely show that. This is a Chrome Hearts piece. If anybody knows about Chrome Hearts, they're exclusive brand. They're very, I would say, elusive. Not a lot of information about them. They're very elusive.
It's almost like
I guess a good word for it.
Yeah, they don't want you to even know where to get Chrome Hearts.
They're they approach marketing, if you can call it marketing, very differently. I'll tell you a story. I purchased these in Vegas. They're a special edition Vegas piece. They have the dice on the side. Very nice piece. Even the official Chrome Hearts store they have about 20 of them in the United States that I went to. I asked the employees, where can I purchase Chrome Hearts in Chicago? They don't have an official store, but they do have retailers that they work with. And the official Chrome Hearts employees told me they don't even have access to the information. Because Chrome Hearts doesn't have a real website for their eyewear. You can't buy it online, really through authorized retailers. You can find them aftermarket. It's just kind of crazy how they kind of do their marketing. We'll jump back to
Jaeger
to the
photochromic
Jaeger
brown.
real quick. I think this looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
as a sun.
Yeah, that's
just brown.
Yeah, no, it's like brown with gold. It's always
it's
always
gorgeous,
a banger.
Gorgeous frame. I love. If I get so many compliments, this is probably one of my most complimented pieces. This and they're all pretty complimented to be honest, but. This is one of my. They're all pretty special. I can't really take away from any of these, but this is one of my favorites.
No, that looks great with the photo.
It's like choosing between your kids.
As well, and photochromic, it is a game changer.
It is,
and it's not like the photochromic of like your grandparents and like your parents' days. Because I have a lot of people sometimes they're like, oh, but they would look yellow or they look, the grays look purple. I'm like, trust me, they've come a long way.
Yeah. Photochromics are excellent pick. The only downside, like I said, really, it's a little bit of cost, but it's not a significant amount in my opinion. If you're getting frames like these and if you're not doing photochromics in them, or they're not just full sunglasses, I think you're really underutilizing your frames.
I was going to say, they almost look like hammered or like,
Yeah, I engraved those myself,
just to get a bit more texture. See, just adding his own touch.
Yeah, I do a little bit of
Chrome
stuff
Hearts would hate you for that.
Yeah, that's okay. They would. But.
They're just, like you said, elusive, but like they're not, but then they're like very elitist. But at the same time, they're almost not, because like when you look at their styles or their designs are very like urban inspired, if that's right.
They're very unique. They have some. I like some of their product names. I have probably some names that I shouldn't even repeat. Let's just say they're very. I don't know if anarchist is the word, or very non-conventional. If you do your own research, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I would call them not really an eyewear brand. They're kind of more of an underground fashion brand, jewelry brand that's gotten into eyewear, but they've done it well. I would say their frames are as good as any made.
The hardest thing, to be honest, as Tyler said, is just for potential clients is to actually see the collection, because they don't really say this is where you should go, or
correct.
There's no website, there's no catalog, and even for retailers. So I met with Chrome Hearts at Silmo. They don't allow you to market any of the product. They don't want you to make videos. They don't want you to show.
Very strange. Yeah.
For example, like when we get a collection of Dita, we're able to, do like cool reels or whatnot, or just actually showcase the product. They don't want you showcasing the product. So
it works for them.
It works for them.
They sell a lot of frames. They're very high end frames. They do cost quite a bit of money. But they sell
what is
them
the
very,
cost
very
of
well.
Something like this?
This was about $1,500 US.
I was going to say about like something like that. You're looking at around $2,000, $2,500 Canadian.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is it's even the upper end of your standard Dita.
It is.
For example, I mean, we have Epi Luxury, which goes upwards of $5,000-$6,000. Innovati, some of the Innovati pieces will now, be exceeding $20,000-$25,000. But for what looks like a relatively simple titanium, I mean, the cost is definitely
they're high. They're high. You are paying for the Chrome Hearts name, I will say, to some degree. I have 2 Chrome Hearts frame. This one, I have another one. I'm actually getting lenses made. That model is called the Rump. This is the AM GP. GP is gold plated. The AM is the model. The Rump was about $2,000 US. So they're quite expensive frames. But they are all real gold plating on the models that are gold plated. I think some are palladium. They actually do have some solid gold models. They do have some gemstone models, diamonds, things like that. There are very premium, very high end pieces. You do have to be a very specific type of individual, very high end collector to really want them.
I mean, that's the thing though. Like there are those individuals out there, and even myself getting into this, I always thought, okay, will we be able to make a business of it? And here we are.
Yeah,
we've made a business of it. Like there are those individuals who will spend $5, $10, $15, $20,000, $30,000 plus, but if you don't cater to that, or if you don't have that top, you will never find that individual.
No, absolutely.
For example, like we have, I mean, your collection, we'll get to that in a bit, but I've had clients that like in the past year have spent literally vast amounts of, like they'll come in and they'll drop a mortgage payment on an order, and it's not everyone's in that position to do that, but the average person, they would think that, like who's going around spending $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 on a pair of glasses?
It's not for everyone. It's not, but
those individuals they're not everyone, but they are out there.
They are, absolutely.
And that's why like Dita's tagline, a category of one. It's truly for the select few, which is our it's our
correct.
It's our take on a category of one. It's our tagline.
But think about this: someone that comes in a Rolex or a Patek Philippe watch or a Richard Mille. I mean, a Richard Mille can be $500,000. I mean, and we're talking about jewelry here. Eyewear is as much jewelry as when you get to this level of it, is as much jewelry as any nice timepiece, in my opinion. Any nice. And I would say it's even more of a statement jewelry piece than any watch would be, because it's the first thing you see. Definitely. It's more noticeable, in my opinion, than any timepiece most times.
And it's one of those things where those type of individuals, you need something special to cater to them.
You really do.
We had a first-time client come in, booked an appointment looking for Dita, and told him, sure enough, we carry Dita. We're essentially the largest Dita retailer in Canada. And he came in, and as I was getting to know him, very nice, very subtle individual, came with his missus, and what are you looking for? I'm, Mach 1, Mach 6. And as I was showing him, the conversation was led to cars. And then the question was, what car do you drive? And he's like, it depends. He's like, one day it could be a Tesla. One day it could be my SRT, Dodge SRT, Viper engine, essentially, in a Dodge. And, Dodge is a Viper is a Dodge, but you know what I mean? It's like they put an SRT in a Hellcat, or the even the Durango, I believe they do with the SRT engine. Yeah, long story short, he's like, some days it could be a Ferrari. And when he said Ferrari, I was like, okay, this individual is unique.
Yes.
I'm like, he needs something different. And the whole conversation literally went from a $1,500 Mach 6 to a $4,500 Epi Luxury 13.
Right.
And not every individual is going to walk in and spend $4,500 on a pair of glasses, but if that person's driving a Ferrari, they want something unique and different. And, money is really not of concern at the time. It's more about, is this product worth what I'm paying for?
Yeah, absolutely.
And does it make me feel good spending that that
Yeah.
money. And that's what it is. It comes down to if you feel comfortable with
But
something.
that's knowing your clientele, and then that's your job, right?
Hmm.
If you don't know your client, you don't know what they want to do with their frame. You don't know what their lifestyle is. You don't know what their fashion sense is. You're doing them and yourself a disservice by not knowing that. To be honest with you, because even if he came in one of his standard Dodges and he has a Ferrari in his garage and you didn't ask
Yeah.
about him and you had no idea, and he was really actually looking for the Epi Luxury and you didn't know that, he wouldn't have walked out with an Epi Luxury,
Exactly.
and he wouldn't have gotten what he truly wanted
Mhm.
either. So that's part of being the sales professional that you are, and the knowledgeable optician and everything like that you are. That's why you do so good in those things, I'd say.
And for us, it's really about catering to personalities.
Absolutely.
We always, I was going to say, we always look at our clients. Sometimes it's over a video call, but
Yeah.
we look at their lifestyle. We look at
Mhm.
their hobbies. Obviously their sense of style and what they,
It's
how
so
they
important.
dress.
So
So
important.
it's not just here's an average optical store. They would be happy selling just a Mach 6.
What's your face
You know,
shape?
But for us,
Yeah.
we take everything into account, and then it's what works well with your prescription.
Yeah.
That's just as important as anything.
Yep.
If you've got, let's say, a -10 prescription, I'm not going to say, okay, you know what, you like that Makita, let's fit you in that Makita. You have to, there's a whole lot of things you have to work with, and that's our job as a professional, as an optician, to make sure that that end product, it's exactly for you.
Absolutely. And that's one of the great services that they do here is they'll style you, and you might like that Makita, but if you come in with a -10 and you're gonna
I've got
have
to
these
be honest
big
with you and
lenses,
just tell you like the honest truth.
absolutely, could you make it work?
We could make it work, but is it going to work well?
You might be calling back in a month and
Yeah.
saying I'm really unhappy, but they can make it, but it's part of being that trusted advisor and really helping and not just selling. It's helping.
Exactly.
It's about helping.
Here, it's never about selling. It's always relationship building.
Absolutely.
Oftentimes, we will have clients come in, and the least amount of time we'll spend is like, let's say, an hour and a half, 2 hours. And like yesterday, Tyler came in. He was a little early, and he came into Mississauga a bit ahead of schedule, and we spent pretty much the entire evening. You came in around 5:30.
Yeah.
And we spent 3-4 hours probably just chatting.
Probably 10
and then we went out for dinner.
Yeah.
We grabbed some food, and I came home. It was like 11:15 or maybe like 11:30 or sorry, quarter.
It's really late.
I think it was pretty late. It was like almost 11:30. And Rena's like, "Where have you been?" So I was like, "Don't worry, I was just with Tyler." She's like, "It's late," but
we didn't do anything crazy.
And it was never like, "Oh, so what are you looking to buy? What do you?"
No, that question didn't come up once. It was never like that.
And that's never how it is at the optical tailor. And
no.
Sometimes, people will watch the YouTube, or they see us from outside, or they see the Instagram, and they're almost like intimidated to be like, oh, and we cater to every price point. It's,
yes,
we're not, okay, if you're looking for eyeglasses all in for $59, $69, $100, then I will honestly say go to Specsavers, because at that point you're really just looking to see. But here, it's how you want to be seen. And like wants always will supersede a need, because a need, it can be satisfied in a much smaller budget.
Yes.
But when you want something, that budget could be endless. Like if someone wants a gem set pair of glasses, they're not concerned about, okay, it has to be within this budget, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really about catering to our clients' like personal needs and their wants.
Absolutely. I agree completely. Let me move on to my Aconi. By the way, this was a tint suggestion that I had from actually a mutual friend of ours, by a store called iMagic in Highland Park, Illinois. Shout out to Michael. Great store. Highly recommend them.
Michael?
If you're in Chicagoland area, great store to check out.
Ran into Michael.
Michael Scott.
So, I was at the Dita store, and I was standing outside the Dita store in Soho taking pictures, and he comes out and goes, "Is there anything I can help you with?" And then I introduced myself. I was like, "Don't worry, I'm like, I know all about Dita." But they were so nice, Ariel and Michael over at the Dita store in Soho, New York, and Michael went on to start his own business. So shout outs to you. I know it's not easy.
No, so normally I'm ones to kind of pick my own tints, because I've kind of gotten, I'd say to kind of get my own fashion sense at this point. But this was a whole styling by him, and I think it turned out excellent. I couldn't really ask for better.
Great.
My last piece on here that I haven't talked about yet, and one of my favorites, another Aconi frame. This is the Cosmo in their It's kind of like a crimson burgundy
It's almost
sort
like a
of.
wine, like a burgundy
It's
wine type
such
of
a
color.
nice
Yeah.
color. And I was kind of hesitant about this color because it is such a bold color, but I just think this frame just pops.
Yeah.
With the
That tint too, it looks
with
really
this wine kind of plum type tint. I think this is just such a nice. Again, with the brown photochromic, is like pretty much doing almost
and
everything.
it's a nice contrast with the black. Like
It
again,
is,
it's a
yeah.
solid color, but you know, this with the translucency and like that rose tint, it's a nice contrast.
Absolutely.
I
And
even like the beveled.
yes,
You've almost got like the bevels on the temples.
the sculpted temples. And this is a beefy frame. This is a heavy frame, but super comfortable because again, the balancing that they do is superb. The bridge fit on this is excellent. It's so much about the actual sculpting and the fit and the softness of the acetate over just an overall weight. I mean, yeah, you have super light frames like Silhouette or like a Makita. Makita's a great brand. So many super light frames, and yeah, they're extremely comfortable. But I would
they
say
feel like they're gonna fly off your face
but they
sometimes.
do. And if you're looking for that, great. They're excellent frames. You'll probably be very happy with them. But I would say if you're looking for a super comfortable frame, don't be intimidated also with an acetate frame because fit is king. Fit is the most important thing in comfort, in my opinion.
Yep.
If they fit you, if they're well balanced, and the optician did a great job in selecting the lenses, choosing the right thinness of the lenses,
and with
fitting
acetate,
they can be very comfortable.
It all comes down to the bridge. If that bridge does not fit, no matter what you do to that frame, like it'll
never work. Because there's not. I mean, I see
too many frames where the bridge is too narrow and it's just sitting on top of the nose, and then it's like
correct.
You have to make sure like you're getting a proper fit, and that's what we do here.
Yeah, so many people that I see who have been. I mean, I would say styling is probably a light word that'll go into a standard optician and they'll get a frame and you'll see huge gaps. I mean, really, what you want, and I think this is a great example, is you want your bridge to follow, or the eyewear bridge to follow your nose structure perfectly. I mean, pretty much no major gaps. And I think this is a great example of that.
That one's...
You know, if you have a frame that has big gaps at the nose, you're going to have an uncomfortable
We have
fit.
what are called keyhole bridges. So they are designed to sit slightly
that's the exception,
above.
correct.
But that's the one exception where if you have a keyhole bridge.
Correct, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned
that.
But yeah,
other than that, it's like you really want them to sit down like a saddle.
Correct, yeah. You have the most surface contact on your nose. They won't slip down as much. And like you said, like Jason said, it's a saddle. So you have the support. Whereas, something like this, you have, nose pads, which some people have preferences, right? Some people prefer the nose pads. Some people prefer an acetate bridge. I generally like nose pads, but equally as comfortable when they fit properly is the acetate, but
100%.
This I would say is a little bit, you have to be a lot more selective with this because if the standard bridge doesn't fit you from the start, there's not really a whole lot you can do outside of going bespoke. If you find someone who's willing to, and there's almost no one who will reshape the bridge.
I mean, we can do bridge modifications, for acetate.
It's a dangerous game to get into, though.
You can add nose pads to acetate.
Yep.
Which, of course, it involves a bit of work. It's not just a quick solution.
No, it's not. It's a slippery slope to go down into kind of, you'd prefer to buy the frame, to fit off the shelf, So if you're not married to that piece, I would say try to find a frame that just fits you better.
That actually fits.
To be honest,
seek a professional.
Seek a professional such as the optical tailor who has many beautiful frames to fit you in properly. Unless you're married to the frame, I would try to find something that fits better because you will learn to hate the best frame in the world if it doesn't fit you.
100%. Fit is king. And,
it really is.
It's one of those things where, the average person, they will wear their pair of glasses for like 2 years. They're on that cycle of, my insurance renews in 2 years. Whereas here, we have very few clients that come in with that mentality. When you're buying something, you will have these type of frames for decades.
Yeah.
They are what we call heirloom quality frames.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's one of those things where if you're going to have something for decades, for years, it has to fit right.
Absolutely. There's no reason that a lot of these, especially titanium pieces, I can't pass down to my children. When I pass away at some point, and a lot of these acetates too. Well,
that's going to lead me to my next question, which is, how much would you say in the last 7 years you've probably invested in your eyewear collection?
Large number. I would say.
Looking at about how many pairs do you have overall? You said about 50.
About 50, yeah. Now, I've gotten good deals on a lot of the frames that I have, to be honest with you, including lenses, including frames. I would say probably somewhere in the realm of maybe about $25,000,
Okay.
maybe,
I was
maybe,
gonna say about 40. I mean, again,
maybe a little
he's
more,
talking U.S. dollars, and I'm talking Canadian dollars. So
maybe a
they call
little
it
more.
monopoly money.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Maybe I'm underestimating. Well, what lenses? It might be. Maybe 30 is
I was
maybe
thinking around like
realistic.
the 40 grand Canadian mark, which at 30 US, that pretty much puts you right there.
Yeah, probably
Which
probably
is
30. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I don't have all my frames with me, it's probably closer to
mhm.
30,000 US.
So
Yeah,
that's a good chunk of cash,
it
and
is.
it's
Yeah,
not money you want going down the drain. Whereas
no,
a lot of those, will have $400 of insurance, and I want to get a pair of glasses all within $400. You're constantly in this cycle of wearing and then throwing away, wearing and then throwing away. Whereas with this stuff, you will never get rid of,
no, absolutely
And
not. No,
oftentimes with the right type of eyewear, you get your investment back if you are ever looking
absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
to
it's
sell later on down the line.
yeah. I always take care of my pieces. I always say the original lenses. Unfortunately, I'm not a person that can wear the stock lenses. I do need prescription. I always request to keep mine. If for some reason down the line I decide I don't want to wear that frame anymore, I don't like the look for me, I find more pieces, and I don't have a shortage of frames, and
He's got one special piece that
I
we
do.
kept off screen
Yeah.
just to
If I decide that I want to depart with a frame in the future and sell it, I certainly can. That leads me to my last piece that I'll show. I would say my most special piece. Um, Certainly, probably my most exclusive piece. If you've watched the Optical Tailor for a minute at a time, you're probably familiar with what I'm about to open. Masunaga Masters of Craft. I would argue some of the best made eyewear ever created.
definitely.
So
It's Masters of Craft. It's something different. It's quiet luxury. It's subtle luxury. This is for the true enthusiast who's looking for the best, but they don't want to be flashing logos or brand names. Or it's
absolutely,
pure class. These frames.
yeah. And we talked about this yesterday. In terms of quality, I would say DDAP Luxury and Masters of Craft are very comparable. Very different things, though. I would say DDAP Luxury. You're very bold.
The way I would say, imagine like a McLaren 720S versus a Rolls Royce.
Yep, and that's how you put it
That's the
exactly.
best comparison.
Yep, absolutely.
You're both getting like both of them. You're getting top of the top level
Right.
of quality, but
Yeah.
it's the way they approach that is a little different.
Yeah.
The way they present.
Do you want a Maybach or a Koenigsegg? Kind
Exactly,
of thing. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So these are my own prescription lenses in them. This is a custom, like 50% amber gradient tint in them. Just an amazing frame.
It's an amazing. And, like, they
Again,
look
not
awesome on
not
you.
a light frame, but honestly, one of my most comfortable.
Yeah, the balance on
Supremely
MOCs is
comfortable.
insane. And we were having this discussion yesterday. We've sold about 25 of them, and we originally started with 9. And it's crazy to think that we've been the number one MOC retailer in North America.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Less than 2 short years, and to already be, doing stuff like that, it's insane. It really goes to show that what we do, it is different, and what you guys are is different. Like our clients, our viewers, a lot of you guys have contacted us from all over the world, and it's been insane to just get orders from literally we've hit every continent in the world now, other than Antarctica. I don't think there's
I'm not surprised
anyone down in Antarctica wearing
no,
MOCs,
maybe some
but
scientists.
it's just amazing. Like it's amazing to see like MOCs and Masunaga just grow through MOC, because this has really put the attention and the spotlight on Masunaga, which they've always been in the background. They've always, just existed in the optical market, but they were never spoken about. They were never at the forefront. And with MOC,
but they deserve it. They deserve it. They are such a special.
They're
brand.
the ones doing a lot of the manufacturing for behind the scenes for a lot of these brands we have.
They do.
Here that are Japanese manufactured brands, but they were always kind of in the background on this. It really brought them out, and they've grown into into it.
Absolutely. And what's exciting is I believe it's next month. The next MLC collection is being released.
So we put those videos out, and we'll have those.
Check out those videos.
Yeah,
check them out.
About mid-November, and a lot of the pieces are already spoken for. So it's
get on the waiting list. I am.
Yeah,
I'm on there. Get on.
It's crazy to see the demand. You know, where in eyewear, I would never imagine, like, similar to watches, there's going to be a waiting list, or people that are just kind of ready to get something before it's even released.
They will sell.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, they will sell in dozens.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be for the 120th anniversary pieces. There's only 30 of them, so you could imagine. Like,
and those are the solid gold ones, correct?
Not the solid gold, the 18 karat 5-micron plated.
I'm sorry.
So they're essentially the MOCs with with 18 karat micron of gold plating, and then there's two pieces that feature solid gold temple tips.
Radio City and then the Lex.
And the Lex.
Yeah.
And those will be retailing for about $6,500 Canadian. But the MOC piece is only 30 pieces in the world. So not even all MOC accounts will be getting those pieces, because there's only 100 MOC retailers in the world and only 30 pieces. So only the select few of even the MOC retailers will be getting those. And we've got 2 sets on order, and 1 set's already sold. So it's one of those things where it's crazy, right? Yeah, even me, I'm like, wow, it's insane.
You might not even end up one for yourself.
But I'm going to try to definitely,
You should definitely try to prioritize at least one for
honestly,
you, right?
It's one of those things where even for my archives.
That's pretty exclusive.
I actually really wanted to have the full set of these MOCs for myself.
Yeah.
At least, 100, 1002, 003.
Right.
But there was so much demand, I couldn't justify. And this is what I say, I have to give back to you guys, the actual enthusiasts. Like, yes, I could just keep a lot of this stuff for myself, but if someone really wants something, I have to give them the opportunity.
That wouldn't be a shame. I'm sorry, I can't help you. These are mine. Kind
exactly.
Of thing.
So,
you certainly have the right to do it, but
no, I ended up keeping 1, but
right, and it's a great piece. He has the 002.
The 002
in the burgundy. It's
a question I had for you: what was it that led you to us?
That led you to you?
Like, was it YouTube? How exactly?
It was YouTube. It was your MOC videos.
Oh, MOC videos.
Your I'm trying to remember what it was called. Your help me out here. The most special.
The most yes. The most exclusive glasses.
The most exclusive in the world. It was that video that I saw because there were so few content creators making videos about the MLC. I mean, there's such an exclusive collection already, right?
And that's, again, like, back to you guys. It's you guys have been finding us through YouTube, and then we had some mutual contacts when and he made the trip out here, and it's been
and the high-end enthusiast space is smaller than you think, so high-end names actually come up. I know of the optical tailor through mutual contacts and friends, and who are in the space.
It blows my mind, because here I am thinking that I'm not a new optician. I've been doing this for a decade now, but having your own business, and this is a conversation I was having with Tyler yesterday over dinner. There's a lot more to running a business than even just being able to do the YouTube.
Absolutely,
because the YouTube videos they take time. We have to book out hours of the day just to film, and then the editing, and obviously running a business and trying to get to all of our clients, and there's a whole lot to it. And here we're just a husband and wife team, so it's not that we have this whole operation, or
it's just the two of them. There's no special sauce in the background, anything like that. So just hard work and a lot of knowledge behind the team.
And here we are, just bringing you the best we can.
Yeah.
We're going to find Tyler his special piece, and he's been looking to get something unique. So
absolutely,
we'll add that snippet in to the end of this video.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's been a great experience.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care. Thanks.
See you later, guys.